You are live. We are live. Look, we got to get it together, girls,
You sound
ladies.
drunk.
We need to get it together. Um, we 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 got all of our notes and everything that we're gonna deal with tonight. Ruth, you're gonna be first with the weekend review, and then Miss
Yep.
Victoria, you're gonna go. And then I will go after that. Let's see. I think was all we got. I'm excited about what we're gonna get into next year. Uh,
Yes.
yep. That's gonna be good. And we have some other information that we need to get to our listeners from our event that we had the other week. And Ruth, when did you say that might be ready?
Oh,
The
end of month, I think.
end of the month.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
That sounds good to me. I'm looking forward to that.
Hey,
Uh,
Victoria, do you have the journal?
No.
Oh, okay.
she said that so sweetly. No.
I don't know where it is. I don't know where it is. To be honest, I don't know where my journal is. But yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean,
It,
we can mention it. It's just
Okay. All
yeah.
right.
All right, everybody, your village is starting to show up, so it's time to
Yes.
get everything going here.
Well, that's good. I reckon.
You reckon? Okay.
Yes, I reckon. I reckon.
All right. Let's roll now.
Let's go. All right,
Yeah,
I'll talk to you
we're ready.
later.
We're ready to go. So let's. Well, good evening, everybody. You have tuned into Authors Up on this Sunday evening at 7 p.m. And I see we got some folks in the house already. Hey there, Francina. Good evening to you. And Linda Cooks. Linda's with us on this Sunday evening. Nakayana, where you been hiding? It's so good to see you pop up on the line. I tell you what. And of course, my co hosts are here. The other two of the trio. Hey there, Miss Ruth.
hi there. Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday to you and Miss Victoria. Victoria has the prettiest smile.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Hello, everyone.
How are you doing tonight, Victoria?
I'm good. Pretty good. Hope you guys
Good.
are too.
It's been a pretty day today, actually. I
Beautiful.
don't know
Just
where everybody's
beautiful.
calling in from, but we have had some nice weather, warmer than I anticipated. But I tell you what, it's all good because I don't like the cold, so I was good with today. Works just fine for me. Uh, but we're going to start off as we usually do tonight. We're going to be sharing with our listeners, and we start with our week in review. So, let's see if Alan, if you can clear that up for us, that would be a wonderful thing. And let's see, Ruth, you going to start off?
Sure, sure. So my week was usual, but my weekend, um, let's just say it was adventurous. So it started off yesterday. We were at a meeting at church, and my sister texts me and says, did you look at our dad's Facebook page? It says rest in peace. And we're like, oh crap. So, we got our brother-in-law calling, my sister's texting everybody. I am I am just like frantic calling and texting everyone. Turns out he was not feeling well. not feeling very well, and he posted rest in peace, Ruben. I'm
He
like,
posted it.
he posted it. He wasn't feeling well. I'm like, you don't do that. You got people in like 4 states calling and panicking. And I'm on the phone. I'm trying to get I'm working with his girlfriend, trying to get him to the hospital. And I could hear them in the background. He's like, I got to take my blood pressure. He's like, oh, it says 0. I'm dead. I'm like, oh, you have the
You know
worst.
what?
What in the world?
He had
Pop.
just his sense of humor. I remember it from when I was growing up. And I just thought, oh, that was cute. It's not so cute.
Right. Papa. What do you call him?
Bobby.
Poppy.
I'm
So-
getting ready to say Poppy because that's what I thought so. Poppy, don't be doing that.
No. So he's feeling better. He's
Good.
not dead.
Is he resting in peace though?
How
I
funny
think
it is.
he's resting. I don't know how much it's gonna be in peace.
He's not resting in peace.
Yeah. So that was most of my morning. I spent most of it on the phone, and then on the phone with him. And he's like, "No, I don't feel well. I don't want to talk to anybody. Oh, hey, how you doing? I'm dying." I'm like, "No, you're not. Stop saying that."
Bless his heart. I'm
So
glad he's okay.
yeah, I get it. I think honestly, and I may offend some people, but I think there's something genetic about the male chromosome that they just don't do well with sickness.
I don't think they do either.
No,
I don't think so. I don't think, and I say this all the time, but if it was left up to Adam to procreate and repopulate the earth, that would have been it. Cain might have been an only child, and that'd have been like, we're good, we're done.
Ruth, you just took it there
Oh,
tonight,
boy, what a Sunday this is going to be tonight.
No, that was just Saturday. He is home, he's resting. So, we're done with that. But today, and you guys got to go, we went to a author event at
Yeah.
a local synagogue that we've been fellowshipping with. We got to meet 2 incredible authors, wrote a book called Thread Collectors. And it was just an awesome event. Got to hang out with you guys, got to hang out with them. It was just really fun.
It
And
really was.
we're going to talk more about this, but we're 5 days into the writing challenge and I am excited, and we'll chat more. So,
All right.
busy weekend and it's not done yet. Oh,
How about that?
I didn't have to bury anybody. So I had a great weekend.
Yes.
So, yes. Yeah. Victoria?
Well, unfortunately, I did. My week was sad. I lost a friend the week before last, and they had her service this past week, and that was Tuesday. So that was a little sad. And I've just been kind of down in the dumps a little bit all week. And, but yesterday I started feeling a little better. And I got out, I think because I got out of myself. You guys know I sell paparazzi. And I just wasn't feeling like selling. I didn't feel like getting on the live and being happy. But then I thought about it. I said, I remember when I was in the pandemic, and we were in the pandemic, and I would watch Lynn's lives. It was like my lifeline to outside, right? And I said, you know what? This is not about me. Somebody may just need a pep of something that they may see on my live. So I went ahead and did it, and I just threw some makeup on and everything. And then, you know what? Halfway through, I felt good. I was only about 6 or 7 people. I didn't sell but 2 pieces last night, but that was okay because I've had pressed on, and it was just, I don't know, the atmosphere just shifted with me just pressing on. And I think for me, that's my motto. If you can help somebody else, that's what it's all about. And me getting out of myself and thinking about somebody else for a little while just made the difference for me. So it was good. It was good. But other than that, the week was just a normal week, and I've been trying to get into this challenge, and it's been a little slow, but we'll talk about that too.
Momentarily.
Oh, wait. So I have a quote for everything.
I know
And
you do. Come
there
on.
was one. Hold on, I'm trying to find it. It is, no one is useless in this world who lightens the burden of another. Charles
Wow.
Dickens.
Wow. Amen. Amen.
Charles
Amen.
Dickens.
Oh, really? Wow.
All right.
Good for Charlie.
That's a good one. No one is useless. That's it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah. What about you, Andrea?
Well, I don't think I've told you all about when was I gone? Was it last weekend?
Yes. Uh-huh.
Okay, so I can talk about that. That was amazing. I had
Good.
a wonderful, wonderful time. I was in Topsail
Mm.
and I had never been there before. I had a beautiful room, and all I had to do was step out of my room and just look straight across at the water, which was just it was just wonderful, wonderful. The place was a brand new place. I think it was called Saltwater Suites, I think is the name of it. And it was just like truly being in a little apartment that had a full
Aw.
kitchen and sitting area and dining room area, and it was just really really nice. We got there; it was a little cool, but it warmed up, and by Sunday evening, it was just perfect to have an outdoor concert. The group that I was with is you all know Cinnamon Ruth Leggett. If you come on my program When Life Speaks on Thursday. She's been on there many times, and I'm gonna make this
Mhm.
quick. But she comes in under the power of one, and 1 year right after a hurricane had hit Puerto Rico, her church gave her money to go and bless them. She didn't know who she was going to bless or what was going to happen. She went and she found someone to help them rebuild. And the next year she went again. The last time she went, she took 20 people with her.
Oh wow.
It became a project of Worship Puerto Rico. Well, she lives in LA now. So she has Worship LA. And I have been on Instagram with her because I sometimes write poetry to her original songs that she does. So this time it was Worship North Carolina. And some folks went from North Carolina. Some folks came in from LA with her. And we did this outdoor concert, and it was wonderful. It was
Aw.
really, really wonderful. First time I had done anything like that. Learned a lot from doing that. Had a blast. The favor of God was resting on your girl. Let me tell you, let me tell you. I did not have to pay for one thing, not even lunch. It was the weirdest thing. I was sitting with another young lady that was there. We were having lunch, and best seafood ever. Great, 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 great. But the waitress came over and said, "I just wanted you to know that the gentleman that just left has paid for your meal."
Amen.
What gentleman? Where? What happened? And she said he comes in and he'll do this from time to time.
Wow.
Oh,
So it was just that kind of weekend. I
how
mean,
nice.
everything was really great. The church that sponsored it, the people were very very gracious, and it was just good. It was good, not just to get away, but to get away into a new experience
Mhm.
and to get away and do what I love to do, which is read his words. So
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen.
it was all the way live and all the way good, and I had a wonderful time. I rested well, I ate well, I spoke well. At least that's what the
All
people said.
right. And you got back safely. So it is well.
God, it was well with my soul. It was
Amen. That's
well.
nice.
Yeah, I really, really had a good time. And today, being exposed to two authors who are combining their efforts in writing and how they did it, and
Yes.
it was really, really amazing. And I hope that they will be guests here on Authors Up to be able to share that with everybody because it was quite unique. You know,
Yeah.
we don't really have the opportunity that often to talk with a shared writing experience like they had in doing the book that they did. So I'm
Yeah, it
looking
was nice.
forward
It
to
was
looking
Mhm.
forward to seeing them again and seeing them on Authors Up.
Yep.
But we have been busy. We have been busy, 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 busy.
some
And
more than others.
Miss Ruth is going to tell you all what we've been busy doing.
Yep. Yep, and it is that time of year again. So November is National Novel Writing Month. Um, and there is an organization called NaNoWriMo, which is just, the abbreviation of the National Novel Writing Month. And what they do every year is they hold a writing challenge. There's no cash prizes, there's nothing. It's more of a bragging rights, and you walk away with a completed first draft of your book. But this will be the fourth year I've participated in it. And it is a wonderful challenge because it gets you out of that space where it gets you, it gets you from that space of, oh, I want to write a book to, but I'm busy every day, to, you know what, if I can do a word, if I can just sit down, write every day, whatever your word count is, by the end of the month, you will have that first draft to work with. I say it all the time. You can't edit an empty sheet of paper.
Yep.
So if you got something to work with, that's awesome. And I've heard people blast. There was a couple years ago, I read an article and they're like, oh, this is the worst challenge. It encourages people to just publish their book, and it's
Really?
really, I'm like, you don't understand. You don't understand what that's about, because
Wow.
oftentimes we let life get in the way of what's in our hearts to do. And, we don't sometimes see or understand that it's that story that's in you that will inspire someone else, that will let them know that they are not alone, that you can speak words and inspire other people, but you got to start somewhere. So,
Exactly.
this is, like I said, my fourth year. Victoria, this will be
I
your
think third.
third
Third.
year.
Mm-hmm.
Andrea, this will be your second year.
1.5.
One, close enough. Oh,
That's right, because you didn't do it
Second-
last year. You didn't do it last
no,
year. And
that's
I
all
did
right.
it.
That's
I
all
think
right.
the year before I did because I did the journal.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but so tonight we were going to talk about just, the unique writing challenge journey. We're going to talk about NaNoWriMo. We're going to talk about where we're at and what we want to see done going forward.
Yes.
So, I thought I'd give you a brief um, history of the challenge because I had to look that up for the show today. And I just thought it was the most interesting thing because oftentimes we sit there and we think, oh, I got to come up with 50,000 words. But how do you do that? One word at a time.
All right. I like that.
So,
One word at a time.
one word at a time.
Note to
So,
self. Note to self.
okay. So, the challenge was founded by a gentleman named Chris Beatty in July 1999. So, we're talking what, 23 years now. 20 other people. The first year was only 21 people. They participated. They were all from the San Francisco Bay Area. The project began not because Beatty and his friends, and I'm quoting here, had ideas for the great American novel, but because they wanted to write novels for the same dumb reasons 20 somethings want to start bands. They just wanted to do it. So, after grabbing the shortest novel on a shelf, which happened to be Aldous Huxley's Brave New World, and doing a rough word count, the number that they came up with to then was the same number that they strive for today, and that's 50,000 words. That sounds like a lot, but that's like an average novel. Now, if you're writing something else, and you do have the option if you sign up for the challenge to set your word count. So, it's 50,000 words in a month. That's 1,667 words in a day. So, that is a lot. Um,
That is
so,
a daunting task.
it is, but it
Yeah.
can be done. It can be done. So it started in July. It was moved to November the following year so that they could take advantage of the dreary weather. So they wouldn't want
Okay.
to go outside as much. So
Okay.
first year, 21 participants, 6 winners. And when I say winners, 6 people who finished the challenge. That's
Wow.
first year. The second year, they had 140 participants and 29 winners. Now, it just kept multiplying from there. The third year, they had 5,000. They jumped to 13,000 the following year. The highest number that they've had, and I've got statistics up until 2020, 402,000 in 2017.
Wow.
Yeah. participants, and this is around the world. So
Yeah.
in 2013, they had 310 participants, but they had a total of 3,520,000,000 words written.
I can't.
Wow.
Yeah.
I can't even fathom that.
Yeah. I can't wrap my
So
head.
But did you divide that by how many books? How if you do
I know
50,000, how many books is that?
that's a lot,
A
but
lot.
and they have since grown. They have like other subdivisions of their organization, like Camp NaNoWriMo, which
Mhm.
focuses like every April and July, and it offers you the flexibility to write something new. They got the Young Writers Program that come in and write. They list like all their municipalities and regions that they're in, but it is to me, when I first discovered it, I was struggling to write my book, the Book of Joy, and Francine, I don't know what you're laughing at, but I'm sure we will be laughing with you. But it's just to me, it is a great opportunity. 50,000 words is daunting, but again, you know, just like this Chris Beatty did, go to your bookshelves, find a comparable book that you want to write, figure out how many word count, figure out what the word count is, and then divide it by 30. I know I personally am writing about 1,600 words a day, almost 1,700. But again, I have 20 years
Show off.
practice of this.
Show off.
I have a little more experience in this,
Yeah.
but I'm also writing a full-length novel. If you're
Right.
writing something, if you're writing a chapter book, what other comparable books are there? What are there, if you're writing a children's book, if you're writing, even your memoir, even memoirs are getting short, books are getting shorter. So if you're only doing 20,000, that knocks your word count down to maybe 700 words a day. So, those are the kind of things you want to look at. But like I said, this writing challenge is a great opportunity to start that habit
Yeah.
of writing every day.
Right. Right.
So let's talk about first steps.
Crickets.
Come up
I
with a
know,
topic?
right?
Come up with a topic in your genre?
Oh, okay, Victoria. There you go. Your turn. Tag, you're it. Here's the baton.
Well, I think that's been my challenge. My
Mhm.
challenge. Well, no, let me be truthful. I know what I wanted to write about, but I was kind of stuck as to whether it needed to be a children's book or continue in the vein that I was going. And I'm writing my fibromyalgia story,
Mhm.
and I have been writing this story now for 2 years because, well, whatever. But I thought that I was going to write it from the perspective of my children's experience with it. And then when I went and pulled up the manuscript that I had already started, I had over 4,000 words already. And so I was just stuck. What did I need to do? So I didn't write anything until maybe 2 days ago. But I finally got on the right path between Ruth and Andrea shuffling me along, pushing me along. I got that. It's going to be 2 books. I'm going to finish writing what I started because I've got the chapters all lined out. I've got something written in each chapter. It just needs to be finished. And from that, because I'm asking my children to weigh in on how they felt, I'm going to take their words and then do the children's book. Because when I went to look, I didn't see a children's book anything written for children to help them navigate how you can help your parent, or what happens to the child when a parent has a chronic illness.
Mhm.
So now that I've got the direction, it's making the time to write. And then I realized today that why I'm stuck is because it is opening up some old wounds. Yeah. I haven't visited some of these places in a minute, and even reading what I wrote already, I remember how I felt doing when I'm describing certain things that happen. But I had to ultimately remember today, in today's event that we went to, that it's not about me. As I always say, I try to help somebody else. And this is going to help someone else
Mhm.
understand what my process was to get where I am today. So I got to push through it. I got to push through it because it's a labor of love. It really is. It really is. So identify your topic. And then I had to identify what age group I'm writing to. What's your demographic? And
Mhm.
once that was identified, it is now easier to go into that direction. So I'm
Mhm.
all in now. I'm all in.
Now let's talk about that because I
Okay.
think that was an important conversation we had. What is the importance of understanding your audience? Now, if you're writing a children's book, I'm just writing a children's book, right?
No, but you have to. But then you think about the children.
Mhm.
Children have a is a wide grade age group of children. Are you writing to preschool children? Are you writing to elementary children? Are you writing to high school children? Are you writing to young adults? Are you writing to adults? Identifying your audience helps you know what it is you need to write and how to write it.
Mhm.
Because I can't write the same way for an adult that I'd write for a preschooler. It's a difference.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Oh, well, what about adults? I mean, everybody can read my book, right?
Exactly.
No, that
No,
was not the right
no.
answer.
But no, everybody can't read your book. But you know what, the way I'm writing my book now, it is going to be, well, it's a really good question, Ruth, because while it would target adults and adult women, if we wanted to keep breaking it down,
Mhm.
anybody could read the book
And
um,
benefit.
and benefit. Yeah. Hmm.
No, and I think that was the important thing you said there. And this is something we've talked about in the past, and certainly we'll talk about more in the future as we talk about marketing. Sometimes,
Hmm.
yeah, if you write to adults, anybody can read your book, but you have to think about who you're marketing to.
True. Right.
I have some male friends who do read my books,
Okay.
but a majority of my audience are female.
Female. Okay.
Yeah. So I
Okay.
know that I know who I write to, and that's who
Okay.
you have to keep in mind as you write. You have to picture them. If you were sitting there reading what you wrote to them, think about what your audience would look like in front of you. And that would
I think it's going to be female because
Mhm.
men don't want to hear about your feelings. They
Look.
they're not going to want to read
They
it. There be
they
some might,
no,
but
no, and you know what? You're right. Some might, but if certain members of the population with that certain chromosome think they're dying because they have the flu and they're not, they're not gonna want to. They may not want to read about it. I'm sorry, that's not funny. Um, I think we probably should have gotten home early and took a nap.
but
Ladies and gentlemen, you've tuned in to Authors Up. We got started at 7 p.m. this evening. Please bear with us. I would say that we're going to commercial and coming back, but
no, we're not going to
that
commercial.
luxury.
We're going to keep going.
Ask that you just bear with us through this moment of whatever it is we're going through right now. Because we're going to get it together in just a moment.
Yes,
All right, so we've
Okay,
identified the
right?
demographic.
All right.
we're
We're
good.
right. We're
We're
right.
good.
Okay. Woosah.
All right, what's next, Ruth?
Oh, okay. Okay, so we want to talk about the challenges we have faced. I mean, I know we're only 5 days in, but I promise you, day one was a challenge.
Yeah.
So, what have you guys encountered?
Time to write.
That's it for me. And I really have to, and I was thinking about this because I don't always. Let me back up. This is different from what I usually do. I usually do collections of work, collections
Mhm.
of poetry.
Mhm.
Victory Verses, those kinds of things. The Train, of course, was the first novel that I had put my hand to, but this is kind of different.
Okay.
Sure.
The piece that I'm doing now, and I haven't. When you ask the two things, what story do you want to tell, and who do you want to tell the story to? When we were talking about getting started, this is. I didn't think about either of those because I don't look at this really as a story. It is an observation regarding a particular topic
Mhm.
that is something that I think is important for us to recognize. I
Okay.
don't have the answers. I don't have it's not a roadmap. I don't have any of that. But it is a realization that I think people need to be aware of.
Okay.
And I often, when the title came to me, because God gave me the title some time ago, but when the title came to me, I remember these little books that somebody used to send me. They were by a man named Charles Capps.
Mhm.
Some of you may remember them. Teeny tiny books. I think they probably were about this size.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Little books that you could just stick in your pocket. And they may have been about prayer, or
Mhm.
they may have been about healing, may have been about loving God, knowing how to worship God, praising God, anything like that. But there was just in enough in that little book to make the wheels turn,
Okay.
to give me food for thought, to give me nuggets, to give me words of encouragement. And this is the way I see what I'm embarking on now. It's not going to be a big book. It's not going to be a large book, but I am, and it's not. I'm not using this as a cop out. It's just where I am and what I do and how the Father works with me.
Right.
And I sit down and I have learned from Ruth, just write. Just put the words on the page. So the topics that he's given me, I'm trying to follow those topics, and I'm trying to be still long enough to say, okay, what is it that really needs to be said about this in support of what the ultimate outcome is going to be, if that makes any sense at all.
Yes. Yes, it does.
So that's kind of where I am. um, I have I have I missed a day, and I
Mhm.
missed a day, and I said, "Oh, I'll make it up tomorrow." And then when tomorrow came, I almost missed tomorrow, and it's just because I have been really, really busy, and I have been, had some health challenges, and I've been really, really tired.
Yeah.
Right.
So I haven't. We came home from an event, and I had an hour, and I thought, I want so much to just lay down and take a
Yes.
power nap, which I was afraid to do anyway, because my power naps turn into night night.
Right.
I'm not getting up and I'm not doing anything else. But
Exactly.
I really, I thought I have a choice because I'm so tired. I know that once I get through with the program, I'm not going to do it. I just don't have the energy to do it. So instead of taking my nap, I spent that hour writing,
Oh, good.
and I'm
Good.
not mad about it, and whatever. But I had to take that hour to get it in because I knew I would not do it at another time. So
Right.
what I have to do, and what my challenge is to find that window during the day
Yeah.
when I can get it done, because I
Right.
can't. if I wait until I get into the evening,
Not gonna-
chances are it's not going to happen.
right.
Although the first two days that I did write, it was after 9 o'clock.
Oh, okay.
But I had the energy, I had the flow, and I was, I was moving into and through exactly what I wanted to say, as opposed to the other day when I was sitting down at the computer going, this is not making a lot of sense. So I know it's not going to make sense to anybody else. It might be, So that really, that really has been my challenge, is finding that window. I
Yeah,
mean,
me too.
because like you, Victoria, this is a project from a while ago.
Okay.
At that time, I had put down the sections,
Mhm.
what I wanted to talk about, what I wanted to say about them. When I went back this time and looked at it, I thought, I'm not sure that is the flow that I, want to have, or,
Right.
it's not quite there the same way that it was when I started it.
Right.
But I believe in it. I believe in, like you said, I believe in the assistance it's going to give to somebody who may need the help and may not understand that they need help.
Yes.
So that's my, that's my challenge. That's my challenge. And on the marketing side, which is always difficult for me, I'm not sure that it is going to be a book for sale.
Oh, okay.
I'm really not.
Really?
And there have been other ministries that will send you, will send you a word of encouragement, or will send you something, if you sign up for whatever. Or I may make it just a little companion piece to the other books that I have. I'm not quite sure. That part I'm not quite sure about.
Okay.
And Ruth, I see you looking up at the ceiling. You didn't think I saw you, but I saw you. I don't want you to bring those thoughts down from the ceiling yet.
No, you know what? And that's good, but I would tell you right now to not even worry about that part.
Yeah.
So,
Just right.
yeah, it's good. I mean, every author wants to start thinking about where their book is going to go, because that will help you conceptualize it. That will help you focus and say, I need to get this done.
Right.
But do not ever let that hinder your process. Whether how it's going to look, how it's going to, how it's going to evolve, how much it's going to sell for, how much it's not going to sell for. Conceptualize those ideas, but don't let them stop you from getting it done.
I'm going to share something with you too that I found extremely helpful to me. And I was reading a book, and it's actually by the woman that I got my coaching certification from, and her name is Tracy Mack. And she wrote this book called Thought Systems.
Mhm.
But in the process of writing the book, she had come up with an organization. We were the Strategic Alliance, and those who were a part of that were we were all coaches, and all of us had a particular expertise in a particular area. But one of the things that I remember that meant so much to me in Thought Systems was understanding your currency.
Oh, okay.
Understanding your currency, because it's not always money.
Right. Right.
And to understand and be accepting of what makes you fulfilled and makes you happy.
Right.
And it's not always the sale.
Right.
My currency is not always money. It's not always in the number of books I sold or how much money I made. When I do an 8 at 8, or when something happens like that, and I put a poem out there, and somebody calls me and says, that was exactly what I needed.
Yes.
I
Yes.
got paid. I
That's
just
it.
got,
That's it.
you know. And so it is with this. You know, I know it is something that will be helpful. I know it is something that some people need. I know it doesn't have to be big and long and in depth and delving into a whole lot of things, but it's something that people need to be aware of that's going to help them navigate their journey.
Mhm.
So for me right now, it's about getting the words on paper. It's about
Yeah.
going through the sections that he gave
Yeah.
me in the beginning
Right.
and just getting it down. And I thought about the other day. I had I wrote an introduction, and then I had a section that I had written long before, um, and it was titled "Here's What I Think." Here's what I think. And I thought, okay, this sounds like the introduction. And then I said, don't go there. Go
Yes.
stop it right where it is, looking just like it looked,
And
and
keep
put the
writing.
words to it. And tomorrow, write something else.
All right. All right.
That's
All
what
right.
I decided to do. So right now, my challenge is time. My challenge is finding the rhythm
Mm-hmm.
to make sure that I'm not only in a space where I write, but where I am clear to write.
Yes. Yes.
I want to write when I'm tired. I don't want to write when I'm pushing just to get it done. You know, and I look at that word count, and let's say I'm writing 1,000 words a day, which I am not. But if I'm writing 1,000 words a day and I look at that word count and it says 990, I'm gonna find another sentence so I can reach my goal. And that should not be what it's about. I
Right.
Right.
want to be
Right.
sure that I'm making good sense, that I have a thought process.
Right. And you're
That's
making some progress. I
yeah, and I'm
I
making
have to learn not to compare myself to Ruth.
Oh,
Ruth.
please don't. Yeah.
No. It's not you. It's not you trying to do this. It is a me thing. You when you tell us your word count 1675, and I'm like, I only wrote 300 last night.
I'm gonna tell you, it
Hey,
doesn't bother me a bit.
okay.
I'm not,
I had to
because
get
I
there.
know I can't do that. I can't
Right.
do that.
Right.
I had to get there. Like, okay, Victoria, you did wonderful. That you did your 1600 sprint. That was my 1600 sprint.
Mhm.
Ruth has
Look.
hers. You have yours. We have, and that's why I want to say that to anybody out there. It is not too late to join the challenge. Angie said just right. I got to get started. Join us, Angie. It is not too late to join the challenge. And all it is a challenge to yourself to
Yes.
get your
Yes.
words on paper. And that's what, and I'm not going to feel guilty anymore. If I don't write tonight, but I write tomorrow, that's more than I've written today. Right? So,
Yeah.
But I do want to say this. It is a challenge for a reason.
right.
Don't get so comfortable in this. Oh, I'm not going to feel guilty if I didn't write today. You want to write
Right.
today because you are creating that habit.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if you had to sit down and write 2 sentences, you wrote today and that counts. It is not 300 words. If it is, that's going to need some serious editing. But
Right. I get
I
it.
would encourage you, because
Write something.
it's, any other time of the year, I would say great, but because it is a daily challenge,
Challenge.
I would say sit down and write something.
Something.
And yes,
Something.
just something. It doesn't have to be the 300 words. If you just need to say, I did something
Yes.
today,
Yes.
just do that. Certainly bypass the guilt. Guilt is not good for that. So,
Right.
and again, I'm glad, Victoria, that you pointed that out. My challenge is for me. That's for my challenge. That's one thing I
Yeah.
learned about myself. Other people, they can do what they're going to do. I'm not that type of competitive person, but I will
Right.
compete against myself.
Right.
And myself needs to, if the daily word count is 1667 words, I need to do at least 1690. I need to go over that, but that's for me. That's
You.
who I
Okay.
am.
Got you.
So
Got
every
you.
day that lowers my word count. And this is what I wanted to share because we started talking about challenges. And the biggest one is going to be time. The biggest
Mhm.
one is
Yeah.
especially if you are working full time or if
Yes.
you already have a set schedule. You may not be working full time. You already know if you have whatever your challenges are, look for that easy button. So, we're part of a book club, and oftentimes what I've started doing is looking for books that have that audiobook component.
Right.
It doesn't mean I didn't read the book just because I listened to it. It just
Right.
means I found the easy button. And for
Yeah.
me this year, my easy button has become dictating my daily word count. You know,
Good for you.
Andrea, after I dropped you off after the event, that 35-minute drive home, I was able to dictate my story, my my
Mhm.
portion for the day.
Your
Mhm.
Now,
thoughts.
I
Yeah.
do have to clean it up. I use my phone. I'm able to use technology to my advantage. It's become my easy button.
Good point. Good point, Ruth.
And that's the thing, that's what you gotta look for. We don't live in the day and age where we have to write everything out. We don't
Right.
we've
Right.
gone beyond that. We went to typewriters. Now we don't have to do typewriters anymore.
Right.
We went to word processors, and you guys will remember that.
Yep.
Other people might not. It's just advanced and keeps advancing. We
Right.
now have the technology on our phones to dictate a message into an app that will transcribe it, and you can email it to yourself and clean it up.
There you go.
I
Okay.
think that the thing that we need to remember, and I want to point this out to everybody who's joining and anybody who wants to write, don't be intimidated because of somebody else's journey.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Nope.
What you have to write as an individual is your story.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
What you have to write for a particular audience is your audience. They're the people who are drawn to your
Yes.
voice and drawn to your words. So don't ever feel if I don't write 1,600 words. If that had been the case, I would have never done the first writing challenge.
Right.
When I saw
Right.
that number, I said, "Ain't gonna happen, Captain. Not gonna be." That is not gonna happen. But as soon as Ruth said, "No, you can set your goal. You can
Mm.
set your word count." Then I could do it. Then I was able to do it. I was able to write every day. I was excited about writing every day, and I
Mm-hmm.
managed to get it all done.
Yes.
So take what we are saying because I think it is important to understand too. Because Ruth has written as many books as Ruth has written, does not mean that Ruth doesn't have challenges.
Right.
She struggles with the same kind of stuff that we struggle with every day.
Right.
You got to
Right.
find your rhythm. You find what works for you. I do better when I am typing than I do when I am writing or dictating. That's just me.
Yeah. I
That's
need to type
it
too.
works
It
for
just
me.
it just flows from my head out to the paper.
So take a look at you, what works for you. Easy button, no easy button, 10 words, 25 words, 1,000 words, whatever it is. But just like
Right.
we said, the issue is to write day, every day. And we have some things coming up that are going to help you with that. I'm talking fast because it is
Oh
7:49.
yeah.
Oh wow.
Over
Wow.
over our time tonight. I hope that what we have been saying is useful and helpful to you. I think that we're going to probably come back and talk some more about this because I think it is important for people to know and understand our journey and our writing journey. And Ruth can turn out some beautiful novels. I probably never will turn out the kind of
And
work
that's
she
okay.
does, but what I turn out is what I turn out. And,
Beautiful poetry we
I'm
don't write like that.
good with that. And Victoria has a story to tell. And as difficult as it may be, the overriding factor is that it's going to help somebody.
Yes.
And that is your currency. That's the piece
Mm.
I
that works.
love that. I love that. I love
That's-
that. Your currency. Everybody has currency.
That-
Yes.
That's right. That's right. So, do you ladies have any closing remarks? We got to shut it down tonight.
No, I'm not saying nothing else.
What about you, Ruth?
Oh, just the usual. If you have any questions, any comments, anything you want to share with us, email us, authorsup@gmail.com. We want to hear from you.
Absolutely, absolutely. And we thank all of those
Mhm.
who are not coming in by Facebook, who are coming in through other media
Absolutely.
means. We
Yep.
thank you for being with us tonight. If you know anybody who is interested in writing, wants to get started, been stuck, doesn't know where to go from here, be sure that you share this broadcast with them because it may be helpful for them to know from other authors. Hey, we got
Mhm.
the same challenges and the same things that everybody
Yes.
else does going forward. But the main thing is to keep going forward,
Yes.
to keep
Amen.
moving, trust
Keep
yourself,
writing.
trust your work, and we will look forward to seeing you next week.
Yep.
We're going to be right back here for another edition of Authors Up. We thank you for being with us tonight. Thank you, Victoria. Thank you, Miss Ruth. Thank you,
Thank
Francina.
you.
And
Thank you, Andrea.
she was on, and Nakayada, thank you for being
Yes.
with us. Linda Cooks, thank you. And everybody else who joined us tonight. We are grateful for you. We want you to have an absolutely amazing week and come right back next week at 7 p.m. We're also on Saturday evenings. Replay is at 7 p.m.
Correct.
So new show next Sunday night at 7 p.m. Join us, join us, join us. Have a great week. We love you guys.
Yes. Good night. Good night, Bronze
Good
Girl.
night.
Good night, everybody.